jumping into fan questions. We tweet this out before we do the podcast. We're dropping the pod on Mondays now. Also, you can find the video on YouTube. You want to comment, check our Twitter at USA Red Devils. Post fan questions. You comment. We will answer questions on the podcast. Starting off with at SC1201. We're not going to win anything of importance until Glazers INEOS sell. I also believe Amorim is going to leave next season when the team struggles due to lack of depth. And we're going to be back here again trying to sell wingbacks because we want to play a 4 at the back again. This is a great tweet. This is coming, like, the majority of the fan base that I interact with on our Discord channel. If you're not on our Discord, you should check it out. It's an amazing community. Over 1,000 Manchester United fans talking about United, talking about transfer news. Also, great match day chat. Get over to Discord. Invite pinned on our Twitter profile. Everybody's worried right now. Everyone's really concerned, and they're putting the blame on Glazers and INEOS. Nobody's putting the blame on Amorim. Everyone thinks Amorim should be backed. He's not being backed. And this tweet sums it up. You have to say that right now, almost 2 years in the INEOS project, it just feels more of the same. It feels more of the same, and things had to change. The way we did deals had to change. The front office had to change. Having a world-class director of football had to change. And it feels like we're back to like rich guy who knows nothing about football making the decisions, and it's day late, dollar short. I just am at least halfway through the transfer window. It's feeling a little weird.
No, it's feeling like INEOS are going to, once again, set up Ruben Amorim to fail this season because he was set up to fail last season. He got brought in mid-season. He wants to play a style of play. Okay, make it to January. They didn't back him. We pushed out 3 attackers, all in the outs, but we pushed out 3 attackers, and they brought nobody in other than a fullback to try and help him for the rest of the season. And how did that go? And once again, big work to do. They're in a tough position, but at the same time, like you said, they fired director of football. Like, fucking Sergio Ratcliffe doesn't know fuck all about how to run a football club. He showed that with Nice. He doesn't know how to run Manchester United. He did hire some smart people, and then he started getting in the way and overreaching. And guess what? That doesn't work, and it won't work, and it probably won't work until they sell. And they will sell because eventually this merry-go-round will just stop because we'll be running out of money, or the team will just be so shit that, like, we'll be in real trouble. But they are fucking Ruben Amorim, and Ruben Amorim, like you said, I think it's 50% odds he gets fired next season, and that's probably generous.
Well, let's not get into how next season's going to go. I think it's more about like this is like a pulse check on the fan base. There's a lot of people out there that are really upset by criticizing INEOS and the Glazers right now. They're really upset. Like, we've gotten emails. We've get like a lot of harsh comments on Twitter and socials about people like defending INEOS and like, I don't know how like they're coming up with this. That's fair play to them. You could be an INEOS stan. You could try to say, hey, Sir Jim's like the best thing ever for Manchester United, and just like get into the weeds and try to justify that point. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be negative. We're trying to look at like, hey, we're sending out polls about it. You think INEOS is going to figure this out? Like 90% no. Like all the comments on our Twitter today is all about INEOS and the ownership and how it's exactly like the Glazers. Like, we have sharp fans, and we're only calling balls and strikes and just telling you like, hey, INEOS came in. I thought this was like a much better deal than the full buyout because I was like, hey, they're going to be smart billionaire guys, and they're going to put in real experts in key roles who are going to be given autonomy to make real decisions. And what we saw with that was Ashworth was fired. That's like the biggest red flag in the entire thing. No one can explain that away. You cannot explain that INEOS fired Ashworth. Look at the footballing decisions since he was fired. They don't make sense. Loaning out all of our attackers, not signing anyone on loan. Like, it didn't make sense last season. It hurt us going into a final that would have got us £100 million. We needed that money at all costs. We gave Amorim nothing. It makes zero sense. It was everything they've done from a PR perspective, nightmare. Bringing back Erik ten Hag, back him to the tune of $200 million, nightmare, everything. And it's like, I don't want it to be the case, but I'm just saying what they're doing. And it's like, the time will tell. Like, Ashworth is sitting somewhere, probably just, like, come on. There's no way at the end of the day that he isn't sitting somewhere being like, everything I told him to do, they should have done. Oh yeah, they brought in Amorim. Are they backing him? No. Why would you bring him in if you weren't going to back him? Like, because you don't know anything about football. OG Nice fans said that, hey, watch out.
They did.
They don't know anything. The deals they did were bad. Can they turn it around? Yes. I'm just saying right now, today, we need a good decision streak from INEOS. We need a good decision streak, right? We need money to show up. We need them to start making moves, start outperforming these deals and getting things over the line, because right now it's kind of like staring into the abyss.
And you have to make one distinction clear. Just because we're called the way this has played thus far doesn't mean we're not rooting for them. I know we are both objectively rooting for them to figure it out. I think they have many smart people that we didn't even have the caliber of, even though they got rid of Ashworth since changes the Glazers days. But my concern is it feels like Sir Jim is involved in everything. And you know what? 72, 73-year-old billionaires that made their money in a completely different field don't know what they're doing. And that's fine. But he needs to defer to the smart people. My concern is he likes to get his hand in everything. He's a control freak. That's probably how he made all the money in the first place, by controlling everything. But it's fucking up. He's failing, and it's so clear. So let them have some space to work. Give Jim Wilcox and fucking Omar Barada a little space.
But Barada said we've been planning this transfer window all year.
Yeah, they said
you're planning this all year?
All year.
All year.
All year.
We got planning this transfer window all year.
They better take the words out of our mouth this week.
Jesus Christ.
This week
and this
of
is
July.
the guy. This is Barada. This is the guy he's supposed to be a rainmaker. He's supposed to be able to do all these. It just is.
Where are the commercial deals? Where are the commercial deals?
The fuck is going on at Manchester? What is going on at Manchester United right now? And this club has a disproportionate, is a disproportionate part of my life. And I need us to start doing well and winning games. I cannot do last year again. INEOS is trying to shine up a turd and give us next year again. I think they're trying to do the same thing to Amorim and be like, hey man, we tried, we're going to keep, they're going to imagine what they're saying to him. Hey man, we got to sell some players. We're
doing the best we can, dude. We're doing the best we can.
It's just not going our way out there. We're having these conversations. What do you think the bullshit they're saying to him? That's the same bullshit that we're going to be getting from them, and I ain't buying any of it, and neither are our fans, sir. So D_Cole18, still no emphasis on backing the manager and rebuilding one of the worst squads in club history. Amazing point. We're coming off 15th place. Sense of urgency, please. Let's fucking go. Osimhen and Yorkridge seem more like fairy tale dreams that will most likely end up at our rivals. Overpaying for Cunha and Mbeumo is more the same. Players used to force moves to play here. I think the big one for me is the fact that we're coming off 15th place and our rivals are strengthening to a degree that we are starting to get left behind. I am very, losing that final and losing that money is materially damaging United to where, how are we going to get back to getting that $100 million a year, and how many more years are these other clubs going to get that and just chip up beyond where we can be over the long term?
It's going to fail because you know what? This is not a league where you can just kind of, phone it in. This is not the MLB. You can't be the Pittsburgh Pirates for 30 fucking years and just be like, all right, collect the check. It's not the NFL. We're playing for a draft pick. It's if we go, and it's not even Manchester United in 2011.
We might need to institute those rules though.
No, but this is a league. Yeah, well, we would like that.
Hey, we're going to take you finish
Super League. Hey, remember Super League? I bet we're more open to Super League these days.
We're going to get a player from the second place team. So.
No, but at this point, it's United are sleepwalking into a fucking buzzsaw. I mean, this league is so hard. Like I said, it's not 2008 EPL where we're going to be battling Wigan and West Brom, and we don't have to be that good, and we could be 10th or whatever. This league has gotten so fucking good. Leeds are making moves. Burnley are making moves, and like you said, the players who finished well above us, they're already left us behind. But the fact that Liverpool, Arsenal, and City are coming out swinging. City are not going to get punished, by the way. Ha ha ha. So we need our own sovereign, which is just tragic. But we are getting left behind, and Sir Jim is failing. And I think eventually he's going to lose the reins of this club because
this summer is
everything.
It's back against the wall, and I just got to be fine. Calvert-Lewin on a free should have been done 3 weeks ago. Smoke on Osimhen, Mbeumo done. You got to be making moves. You got to be decisive. You got to be just making things happen right now. 15th place, urgent. It's you got to be telegraphing urgency. If there's no urgency, they should be giving an interview right now. Hey, this is our plan. We need to sell players. We are confident in the roster. We need something, and preseason's just around the corner. We always know the same thing. You need him before preseason. At MHersey5,
Never get him.
the lack of speed on incomings and outgoings is very concerning. I hope things are happening behind the scenes, but the last 5 weeks of Mbeumo has me thinking the worst. As things stand, we are worse off than we ended the season, sir. Do you think so or no?
I mean, you lost who? Victor Lindelof, Evans,
Eriksson.
I mean, actually, you probably are. You can make a justification because Eriksson played a role. Lindelof actually played a role late. You've had Garnacho go fallow because everything got blown up after the fucking final.
One of our best attacking players from an XG perspective.
Right? I really rate Cunha, but at the end of the day, it's like we need way more additions, and we have so much work to do, and it's mainly just like Mbeumo shouldn't take this fucking long. I care less about 60 to 70. You gotta get the fucking deal done because we are taking too much time. We wasted a third of the transfer window on one player.
Yeah, but this is a symptom. Key symptom from the Glazers, Woodward-Arnold era, can only negotiate
they did one
deal at a time. So, like, if you have Ashworth, who hires his guys and he's running it, Ashworth,
Jim's guys,
knows he can do more. Like, that's what you do. Is like I could understand if it took the director of football 18 months to get his staff and everything humming. If it took 18 months for Ashworth to get the data in, for him to get his guys in, for him to get the scouting guys online to be able to perform at an elite level, I could see 18 months to get the org set up. But if you don't have that DOF, you don't have no org, and then you're back to like what we were doing before. And it sounds like, if you got to see Wilcox in the street, that guy probably looks like he hasn't slept in like 3 days.
Oh, he did last season too.
You might as well send Murtaugh and Arnold out on the streets of Barcelona trying to flag down players eating paella. Like, that's literally like what the strategy is. It's like laughable.
Well, you cannot have, like you said, you built the structure, and then you took 6 months to get a director of football. He was in the seat for around 4 to 5 months, put in a team around him, put in a process and technology and like how they do things on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And then right before the January transfer window, you fucking fire him. I'm sure a lot of his staff also went with him, probably to the FA where he ended up going. And now you have half a team with a ton of work to do. And we look much like the same, other than the youngsters who I do like, we look much the same like the old Manchester United, just like you said, onesie twosies. And then on the sales side, you're getting fleeced or just.
And you keep bringing Deadwood back.
Take on the chin. They're not willing to take it on the fucking chin. Like I said, Donny Van de Beek, give him away. Nobody wants him, give him away. Well, he's off the books. That's what they should have done already with Sancho and Rashford. I think they'll get there because they're like nobody wants to pay us for these fucking players. Just cut your losses and move on. Got to move on.
At Nathan Forrester, gents, I think we are destined for championship football. We will be taking on some old school Premier League teams, Norwich, Hull. Who says no? We need some humble pie before we return to glory, or some serious action is required, but I'm not seeing it. Look, relegation fight could be coming to Manchester United. I don't want to say that. That's very alarmist. But if you just...
We finished 15th.
To M. Hersey's point on the are we worse off than we ended the season, it felt like last season it was just so bad we had to finish so that we could get to improving the squad. Everything Amorim said was, hey, I didn't want to come mid-season. This team is basically the roster's a mess. Like, he said it in so many words. And then it was like, just get me, even if you lose the final, just get me to the end of the season. Now I can get rid of these guys and we can get my guys in. So then next year I can show you how to play. And I feel like if INEOS doesn't deliver that, it's a backbreaker for morale. Like, you could see a dead team out there. You know what I mean? Like, if it's just the same old, because you need the cavalry to come. You hired Amorim, and then INEOS doesn't back him. Like, what does that say to the fans? What does that say to the locker room? Oh, we can keep bluffing again. We've been through another manager. I don't agree with this back five. We'll just hang out until he gets sacked, and then you're in a Big Sam. Like, it's a backbreaker not to have we're 15th. Every big team that finished 15th made big moves. Chelsea, Arsenal, etc. We need to be making big moves. We need to be moving on. We need to be backing Amorim. Otherwise, there's no point in bringing him on. Oh, by the way, you fired Ashworth because you disagreed with that decision. And then it's just, you're in a whirlwind of shit, and I just imagine it's just going to explode in spectacular fashion. I don't know if we get relegated, but I just don't think it's looking good unless you can just do an unreal amount of work in the window that's left. It would have to be it has to be the most insane win from going from 0 to like 120 miles an hour. I've never seen United do it, but it has to change.
No, you'd have to pull up a worldly, like
Deadline day. It's gonna have to be 3 on deadline day. Because right now
if
it's
3
like
on deadline day, you're already fucked.
No, but
you're already fucked.
But we're in the. There's so much work to do that deadline day. Like you,
we're late up in August.
Because
all
when
the
you
way
get 2 weeks to deadline day, everyone's waiting for deadline day because everyone's waiting for the real like pressure
deals.
Because the whole thing is like people wait for the deadline day to get the pressure cooker deals,
so they can get a deal done.
And so you have to get deals done even before. Because then you're in the red zone, then everyone just waits until the last day, and it's complete madness.
Well, you got to get the straightforward deals done early, so you have time to kind of like get your ducks in a row in advance of the last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, when everyone just knows there's no time to fuck around. If you're actually trying to sell a player, let's fucking agree to a price. Let's get it done. Let's structure it. Let's move on with our lives because we're just running out of time. We want this player out. You want this player in. What they would be looking at for INEOS is that if they don't back this manager after all they messaged and all the shit we watched last season, if they don't back him, like they already having fucking protests about the ticket rises and the cuts and the austerity. If they also don't back him after being like, it's gonna be fine, endure this season, it'll all be worth it. Like, dude, you could have protests every other game at Old Trafford. I mean, it could just be a whole mess. And I think relegation is definitely possible because I just think this new owner is so fucking arrogant that he's like, I think he was shocked when fans got critical of him.